Welcome to the Deep Dive. We're here to plunge into the material you've shared, sift through it, and really pull out the clearest, most impactful insights for you. Today, we're tackling a book that's definitely made some waves. You've probably seen it around, mostly because of its, let's say, blunt title, The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Feck.
Right. It's definitely not your typical feel-good self-help book.
Not at all. And that's kind of why it's so refreshing, I think. It offers some, well, different perspectives. So our mission here is to unpack the core ideas from these excerpts. We want to give you a sort of practical framework for navigating life's challenges, which are inevitable, right?
Wow.
With more intention and hopefully less overwhelm.
Exactly. Less unnecessary stress. It's about being smarter with your internal resources. And like you said, it really stands out because it pushes back against that relentless positivity you see everywhere else in self-help. Instead of just, papering over the hard stuff, the author, Mark Manson, he confronts it directly. He suggests struggles aren't just unavoidable, they're actually essential for a meaningful life.
Okay, so it's not about avoiding problems then.
Not at all. His whole argument boils down to making a conscious choice about what really deserves your energy. And just as importantly, where to strategically, well, not give a feck.
Right.
And we're here to explore how adopting that view can shift how you prioritize, maybe set better boundaries, and ultimately find a clearer sense of purpose.
That idea of prioritizing, it feels super relevant, doesn't it? Especially when you think about how limited our time, our energy, our attention really are.
Oh, absolutely.
And one of the first big challenges Manson throws down is this idea you can't care about everything. It sounds simple, but
it's profound, really. It's a fundamental truth, isn't it? If you try to spread your focus too thin, pleasing everyone, chasing every shiny object, getting worked up about every little thing.
yeah, you end up feeling stretched.
Totally stretched. And less effective where it counts. Manson's point is that our ability to care is like a finite resource, a currency.
Okay, currency, I like that.
Yeah. And if you spend it carelessly, you'll be emotionally bankrupt when you need it for the important stuff.
So how do you apply that practically?
Well, one thing you could try is mentally auditing your energy for a week. Just notice each evening, what did I really care about today? What did I give my energy to? And then ask, did it deserve that investment?
An energy audit? That could be quite revealing.
It really can be.
And that connects directly to the next big thing, which is often a struggle. The importance of saying no.
Oh, definitely a struggle for many. But the book frames it not as being negative, but as an essential act of defining yourself.
Defining yourself. How so?
Well, think of it like this. Saying no isn't really about being difficult or selfish. It's about protecting your yes.
Protecting your yes.
Okay, yeah. When you say no to things that don't align with your core values or priorities, maybe it's an extra project, a social thing you're dreading, or just noise.
Right.
You create space, and that space allows you to consciously say yes to things that do align, things that actually move you forward. It's about aligning your actions with your values.
So you're taking back control in a way.
Exactly. Taking control of your focus and preventing external stuff from dictating your internal state. It's a big step towards, self-mastery.
Okay, so if we're saying no strategically, we're freeing up energy. But then, what are we saying yes to? Often, Manson suggests, it involves facing problems.
Right.
And he has this really provocative idea. Happiness comes from solving problems. Which kind of flies in the face of wanting a problem-free life, doesn't it?
It totally flips the script. Most self-help is about eliminating problems to find happiness. Manson says, nope, problems are inevitable and they're the source of meaning and growth.
The source of meaning.
Yeah, think about it. We're naturally problem solvers. He gives the example. A poor person struggles with bills. A rich person struggles with wealth management. The types of problems change, but problems themselves, they never disappear.
Fair point.
The satisfaction, the meaning, it comes from engaging with and overcoming challenges, not from living in some fantasy world where they don't exist.
So the question becomes, what if we saw problems not as roadblocks, but as, opportunities?
Exactly. Opportunities for growth. That shift in perspective is huge.
It really moves you from wishing things were different to actually dealing with reality. Which ties into another key idea. Responsibility over blame.
Ah, yes. This is where real personal power comes in. It's so easy to feel like a victim when things go wrong, right?
Definitely.
And look, maybe you aren't at fault for what happened to you, but Manson argues you are always responsible for how you choose to respond.
Always. That sounds demanding.
It is, but it's also liberating. Imagine, say, a team project tanks because a colleague dropped the ball. Not your fault, But what's your response?
Right. Do you just blame them? Or,
Or do you take responsibility for the next steps, for figuring out how to salvage it, how to communicate? Blame keeps you stuck, looking backwards. Responsibility gives you agency. Now it lets you shape what happens next.
okay, I see the distinction. It's your response, not the initial event.
Precisely. Fault is past, responsibility is present and future. Acknowledge what happened, sure, but immediately pivot to, okay, given this, what do I do now? It's about action.
Right. Focusing on what you can actually influence.
Exactly.
Moving on slightly. The book tackles something that might rub some people the wrong way initially. This idea, you are not special.
Yes, it's definitely provocative.
Especially when we hear so much about being unique and special. How does Manson position this as helpful for growth?
Well, it's meant to challenge that sense of entitlement that can sometimes creep in from those messages. The idea that life should just work out for you because, well, you're you.
Okay.
Manson argues that real growth comes from a more humble place, accepting your ordinariness, your limits, recognizing you're just one person in a huge world. And actually, that perspective can be incredibly freeing.
Freeing? How so? It sounds a bit diminishing.
Because it releases you from the exhausting pressure of having to be extraordinary or constantly proving yourself. You can let go of needing external validation and just focus on being effective, competent, and, doing good work for its own sake. It allows for honest self-assessment, which is critical for real improvement.
So less focus on image, more on substance.
Exactly.
And if you're putting in that work, you're bound to run into setbacks, which leads to failure is the way forward.
Yes. Another counterintuitive but crucial point, success requires failure.
We hate failure, though.
We do. But think about any major achievement or innovation is usually built on countless attempts that didn't work. Each failure isn't the end. It's data.
Data points, like you said before.
Right. It tells you what not to do or what needs tweaking. If you avoid failure, you're actually avoiding growth. You're just staying safe in your comfort zone, never really learning or adapting.
So embracing failure allows you to be more experimental, more resilient.
Absolutely. It's essential for learning and adapting, especially when things get tough.
And while we're navigating all this trying and failing, it's easy to crave certainty, isn't it? The book calls this the certainty trap.
Yeah. We waste so much energy wanting guarantees. Certainty about jobs, relationships, the future.
Which rarely exists.
Exactly. Manson says, instead of chasing this illusion, we should get comfortable with uncertainty. Except we don't have all the answers, and focus on learning and adapting as we go.
How does that help, being comfortable with uncertainty?
It makes you more agile, more resilient. Demanding certainty makes you rigid, fearful of change. But if you build confidence in your ability to adapt rather than your ability to predict, well, that's real strength in a world that's always changing.
Confidence and adaptability, not prediction. That's a powerful reframe.
It really is. It keeps you learning, keeps you flexible.
So this whole journey, prioritizing, facing problems, accepting failure and uncertainty, it kind of culminates in maybe the most profound lesson. Death gives life meaning.
Yeah, that one hits hard. It's stark, but incredibly potent.
How does acknowledging mortality help us, according to Manson?
It's the ultimate filter, isn't it? When you truly internalize that your time is finite, all those small anxieties, the petty concerns that eat up your daily energy, they just shrink.
Like worrying about what others think.
Exactly. Or chasing status, or needing constant validation. All that stuff loses its power when you compare it to the reality of your limited time.
So it forces you to clarify what really matters.
Precisely. It poses the ultimate question. If my time is limited, is this whatever you're worrying about or spending energy on truly worth it? It helps align your actions with your deepest values, makes every moment feel more intentional.
Wow. Okay, so as we wrap this up, this deep dive into the subtle art, it really seems to boil down to choosing your values carefully.
That's the heart of it, I think.
It's like a call to stop wasting energy on things that don't genuinely matter in the long run: status, ego, other people's opinions.
And instead, embrace responsibility, accept struggles as part of life, and consciously focus your limited effects on what brings you real purpose and meaning.
It's not apathy then, it's intentional focus.
Exactly. A highly refined focus, which paradoxically lets you engage more deeply with life's real challenges and joys.
Well, that brings us back to our goal here, trying to offer a shortcut, getting informed, and finding some clarity in all the noise.
Hopefully we've shed some light.
So, a final thought for you, the listener, to maybe chew on. If life, as Manson suggests, is defined by the problems you choose to solve, What problems are you actively choosing to engage with today?
And crucially, are they truly aligned with what you value most?
Something to think about. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive.